So around the year 2016, I was diagnosed with a severe form of mental illness, or what some would even say a chronic form of full-blown mental retardation, known as TDS or Trump derangement syndrome. And it would take maybe the next year or two for me to finally find a cure that would not only alleviate my symptoms, but get me to a place where I could actually finally see things for exactly what they were. Instead of seeing the entire world through the lens of Orange Man Bad, I could finally think for myself. I stopped surrounding myself with, other mentally retarded individuals. And that also led to I think almost like a lightning speed healing of my internal mental illness or internalized mental illness. Again, this is something I contracted. So it wasn't necessarily that I was born with it. It's something that was injected into me by the mass media propaganda machine. And so when I started down my healing journey, I thought to myself that surely everybody else around me was going to wake up because, again, we were all exposed to the same information. We could all research just 10 more seconds of a clip of Trump saying something and realize, wait, they were lying. What they said, he didn't actually say, that sort of thing. But unfortunately, not only would the problem persist, not only would the propaganda machine continue to win, but it got severely worse to the point where the same hippies, or I guess old hippies and new yuppies, who were trying to force the rest of us into buying into their EV agenda, right? They wanted us all to buy into electric cars because they were trying to save the planet that was supposed to have caught on fire like 10 years ago because of global warming. And there's supposed to be a hole in the ozone like 30 years ago. Anyway, they were basically the same people who were trying to push that onto us. We're now the same people literally blowing those cars up. That's how bad it got, right? And so to think to myself that there would come a day where some of the most severely impacted in our population would finally come to an awakening, that in and of itself would have seemed impossible for me just 4 years back. But yet here we are in the year of our Lord 2025, and none other than Bill Maher, one of the most deeply scarred TDS victims, seems to finally be waking up. So I'm going to go ahead and let this man tell his story because I believe it deserves to be told. And, you deserve to get a little bit of hope in your life. This is not a lost cause. Even the most severely mentally compromised, unhinged human beings can indeed be saved. So let's get into it.
And now for what I know you've all been waiting for, I'd like to give you my book report on my visit to the White House. Okay, as you know, 12 days ago, I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something.
Do y'all think they still do the damn, not a laugh track? I know there's a live audience. Do y'all think they still do like the sign, laugh now? Cackling hens, laugh now? Clapping seals, clap now? Because he hasn't said anything funny yet. I don't even think he's gotten to the joke portion of things. I can't stand that. I'm sorry.
I have no power. I'm a fucking comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every minute.
That's cap. Every time I have seen Bill Maher, let me just let the man tell the story, okay? Let me just forgiveness in my heart at this moment. We all deserve a second chance. Okay.
So, thank you. So meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. Spoiler alert, it was. First good sign, before I left for the Capitol, I had my staff collect and print out this list of almost 60 different insulting epithets that the president has said about me. Things like Stupid, dummy, lowlife dummy, sleazebag, sick, sad, stone cold crazy.
Okay, first of all, DJT was not lying. Second of all, I kind of miss how unhinged 45 was. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know it took getting to 47 in order for him to be in the seat of presidency to do what he needs to do. Because one of the biggest, not insults necessarily, but one of the biggest criticism of Trump was the fact that he was just too mean, right? He would just say the most out of pocket things. Well, I'll be honest with y'all. Damn it, that's what got me in the first time. That's what hooked me in, right? The facts kept me, but what got me in the damn door in the first place was, I think it was Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly said, "You have been known to, call women slurs such as fat slobs, ugly, blah, blah, blah." And he stops her and he goes, "Only Rosie O'Donnell." At that moment right there, I was a fan for life. I didn't care what the man did policy-wise. I was sold. So yeah, 45 definitely sent some of them tweets. I know that for a fact. That man was, he was the more hinged Ye on Twitter, right? Because Ye is undefeated when it comes to absolute derangement on that damn platform.
Really a dumb guy, fired like a dog. His show is dead. Is 60. I brought this to the White House because I wanted him to sign it, which he did.
Trump's a real Gemini, by the way. Shout out to my Geminis out there. Tupac, hit him up. Ice Cube, no Vaseline. Kendrick, not like us. There's just something in y'all. There's something in y'all DNA where if somebody comes after you just a little bit, somebody pokes the bear, you about to hit him with 60 tweets. Oh, Kanye, Gemini.
Which he did with good humor. And I know as I say that, millions of liberal sphincters just tightened. Oh my God, Bill, are you going to say something nice about him? What I'm going to do is report exactly what happened. You decide what you think about it. And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't give a fuck. So no, I didn't go MAGA. And to the president's credit, there was no pressure.
He's going MAGA. I'm actually titled this video, Bill Maher Goes Full MAGA. I'm just telling y'all right now because, I mean, this is basically MAGA. It's just thinking for yourself. That's MAGA, right? Wanting America to win, that's MAGA.
Too. After we left the Oval Office, he showed me the little room off the office, you know, the one where Clinton used to.
What did Clinton used to do in there? I call a little bit of Scrabble, maybe a game of pinochle or two. And of course, there was Monica.
Okay. The blowjob room, okay? Well, not anymore. That's where they keep the merch now. It is. And he gave me a bunch of hats, but he didn't ask me to take a picture in one, which I appreciated. The guy I met is not the person who the night before the dinner shit-tweeted a bunch of nasty crap about how he thought this dinner was a bad idea and what a deranged asshole I was. I read it and thought, oh, what a lovely way to welcome someone to your house.
45, that's him.
But when I got there, that guy wasn't living there. Now, does Trump want respect? Of course, who doesn't? My friend said to me, what are you going to wear to the White House? I said, I don't know, but I'm not going to dress like Zelensky, I'll tell you that. But, okay.
I'm just going to say this for the record. If you're about to pull up to me and beg me for another $100 billion, make sure that you got less than tennis shoes on. I need gaiters, all right? I need Armani suit. I need 3 ties. I need 1 tie for the morning, 1 for the afternoon, and damn it, 1 for supper time. You ain't about to pull up on me like this asking for more of my money, for more of my people's money. To hell with my money. 365, damn. 350 billion dollars that you still owe, you ain't paid a damn net a dime on. You are tripping in that jumpsuit.
Just for starters, he laughs. I'd never seen him laugh in public, but he does, including at himself. And it's not fake. Believe me, as a comedian of 40 years, I know a fake laugh when I hear it. And I thank you for them. No.
Gotta pay them bills.
But, okay, example. In the Oval Office, he was showing me the portraits of presidents, and he pointed to Reagan and said, in all seriousness, you know the best thing about him? His hair. I said, well, there was also that whole bringing down communism thing, waiting for the button next to the Diet Coke button to get pushed and I go through the trap door. But no, he laughed, he got it. I said to him at one point, Mr. President, you know the dog, that's unusual in the White House. He said, well, a lot of the presidents, they had a dog for political reasons. I said, no, people love dogs, that's what that is. Oh yeah, okay, that's true.
Man, one thing about my guy, DJ T, 45, 46, 47, for those of y'all who know, you know, he is a reasonable guy. You know, I've done my due diligence researching old interviews, newer interviews, etc., watching 2 to 3 hour long, whether it's podcast episodes or rallies or whatever it may be. And you can see that he's the type of individual who is willing to take people's opinions. As a matter of fact, he does that more often than not. Right? That's how he's probably succeeded in the business that he's in. A cutthroat, gorilla, T-Rex, shark, big whale, that New York real estate is easily. One thing I know about my guy DJ T is that he can be reasoned with, damn it. You don't get to the place that you get to in business without listening to some damn body about something. That's what a lot of folks get twisted. That's the reason why, frankly, he said in the first term, he listened to people. He didn't understand the business of Washington, D.C., or the politics of Washington, D.C., and he got a whole lot of folks who really did not have his best interests at heart, therefore America's best interest. So the second time around, he just knew who the hell to listen to. And sometimes you might just have to listen to Bill Maher tell you that, well, folks just like dogs, therefore they're going to have a dog in the damn White House. But I'd be skeptical too. You know, I'm always thinking that somebody's up to something. I know there's an angle about this St. Bernard. Nah, they might just like a St. Bernard.
I'm telling you what happened. At one point, we were walking through it is an amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying, wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that. He didn't get mad. He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is on the world stage. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy. Bob, Kid Rock, told me the night before, he said, if you want to get a word in edge.
I mean, most of our opinions of Trump came from where? They didn't come from firsthand experience. They didn't come from what we're actually seeing about him, but instead what we're being told to believe about him. That's the part that always gets me, and frankly, that pisses me off. I was mad when I realized that I had been duped. I had been hoodwinked. I had been bamboozled, damn it. I was pissed off. Thank God I came to myself faster, or at least sooner than later, because there's a lot of folks out there who have built up this resume of hatred and resentment for the last 9 to 10 years. The same maniacs that are now planting bombs in the middle of Tesla stores. You understand me? So, Lord, I think he's going to be the most appreciated when he's gone, to be honest with you. It's going to be when people look back in history and say, damn, DJT was one of the best presidents in American history. He's definitely my GOAT. In my time, he's my GOAT. And that's just off a resume. That's just off of what he's done so far. He has done more in the first 100 days of this second administration or a second term than most presidents did in their entire 4-year. Definitely the last dude. The last dude didn't even show up for day one. That was a weekend at Bernie situation.
Wise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected, people who don't look you in the eye, people who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing, people whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what?
Elitist.
None of that with him. And he mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this? I know, your mind is blown, so's mine.
Laugh.
There were so many moments when I hit him with a joke or contradicted something, and no problem. At dinner, he was asking me about the nuclear situation in Iran in a very genuine, hey, I think you're a smart guy, I want your opinion sort of way. And I said, well, obviously you're privy to things about it, I'm not, but for what it's worth, I thought the Obama deal was worth letting play out because we made Iran destroy 98% of the uranium, and they were 15 years away from a bomb. And then I said to him, but we got rid of that. You got rid of that. He didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. I told him I thought parts of his plan for Gaza were wacky, but that I had supported him in the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of hell. I told him he was wrong when he tweeted the night before that I was critical of all things Trump. Not true. Check the tapes. Moving Israel's embassy to Jerusalem, loved it. The border did need to be controlled. I'm glad the cops are getting their morale back. DEI had gone too far. Biological men...
Okay, I stand corrected, Bill. I stand corrected. I still ain't 100% with you, but I stand corrected. Shout out to my fellow Aquarian, Bill Maher. Shout out to him. May not agree with you, damn it, but hey, you might just be a genuine dude. Maybe I haven't watched you enough, listened to you enough. I just see what I see. I hear what I hear. And I recognize a severe form of TDS when I see it, damn it. But looks like you are indeed healing. This is a beautiful thing.
Shouldn't be playing women's sports. Europe should pay for their defense. And of course, it makes sense that Arab countries should take in Arab refugees, like the million Syrians who wound up in Germany when Saudi Arabia took none. He said to me, you're right, they took none. I said, well, you should remind your boyfriend in Saudi Arabia that the next time you see him.
Look, the Obama's chef is missing, and all he did was cook a damn meal. DJT is a real one, because imagine saying something like that to a sitting president and you walk out of the White House alive. Hillary has allegedly been involved in, let's just say, maybe a handful of individuals no longer living, right? Life gone. Existence perished. For much less than that comment right there. If he said it to me, I might have cracked up a little bit. I might have felt the type of way, but I would have cracked up a little bit. But for a president, the so-called narcissistic fascist, they called him a fascist, remember? You could say that to a fascist leader. Try that to Mao Zedong. Try that to Joseph Stalin. Hey, your boyfriend. It would have been 2 clicks, 1 point. It's over for you, Bill.
He laughed. I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump.
Whoa.
That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will.
I thought he was a narcissist, though.
I feel it's emblematic.
Wait, but I thought he was... No, I thought he was a narcissist, though.
Why the Democrats are so unpopular these days. He was even okay when I checked him on the orangutan. lawsuit. He was. He said to Dana White, you know, Bill said my father was an orangutan, and I really love my father. And I said, well, Mr. President, I did that because I didn't like what you were doing regarding Obama's birth origins. I thought that was low. Again, no anger, just a little smile, as if to say, yeah, I get it. The most surreal part of the whole...
Or maybe, just hear me out, maybe his dad was an orangutan. I'm just saying, not everything could be. Look, Obama can indeed have been born in Kenya. And Trump's pops could just as likely be an orangutan. I'm just saying.
The whole night was when I got home. I flew back right after the dinner, and I'm in bed watching 60 Minutes from the night before. And there's Trump in one of their stories, standing at a podium in a room that looked to me like one of the rooms and places we'd just been in. And he's ranting, disgusting, you're a terrible person. And I'm like, who's that guy? What happened to Glinda the Good Witch? And why can't we get the guy I met to be the public guy? And I'm not saying it's our responsibility to do that. It's not. I'm just reporting exactly what I saw over 2.5 hours. I went into the mine, and that's what's down there.
So, I'm going to say this. Oh, Trump, he's a meanie. He's a meanie head. He's so mean. He's so mean. First of all, the rest of y'all presidents just lied to y'all bold-face. You didn't know what they actually felt about you or anybody else. DJT, I just think, has the inability to keep himself censored for real. Secondly, there is a certain showmanship to it, for sure. He might add some extra sauce on it or whatever it may be, but he's still calling out for what it is. You're fake news, you're a liar, you're terrible, whatever it is, he's saying it exactly how it is. Whether you like the format, whether you like the delivery or not, he is still telling you how he really feels about this institution, about this group of people, about this industry or whatever it may be. That person. Oftentimes it is an individual thing. And if you go in those individuals' repertoire, you will see, or in their past and their history, you will see that they have created such smear. They've created a dangerous situation where the man literally almost lost his life. First, they tried to assassinate his character for 8 years straight. Then they literally tried to take his life on that stage in Butler, Pennsylvania. That's the facts, folks. These are the facts. They literally raided his house with his children and his wife getting violated in the craziest ways, going through underwear drawers, etc. That actually happened. Lawfare on his head. 36 wrongful, 34, 36 wrongful, crazy ass cases put on him. They tried to imprison a sitting president. That's the type of people that we're dealing with here. So I don't want to hear any of this, well, he's so mean and, he should be nicer. Obama was nice and cordial to everybody I spoke to, but he was a damn liar, a tyrant. He was a warmonger. These are the facts. Which one do you prefer? Folks, some folks still want the truth. Some folks care for the truth, but most folks want the lie. Because a lie sometimes is just far more entertaining. If not, it serves some sort of sick, twisted identity that they hold for themselves, right? Trump is an easy scapegoat for somebody's self-hate or the hate and resentment that they hold for the world already. And that's what a lot of the left has become. Simple. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.